So now I'm going to come with the application of the darkest shadow that's going to stay here at the end of our eye, on the outer part of our eye. And what are we going to do? We're going to deposit that darkest shadow, reminding you that you always have to use the shadow under our concrete, which is where we have that bone that separates the eyeball from the part above our eyebrows. We are going to use the darkest shadow. We are going to pick a slightly pinkish coffee tone and apply it in this part of this eye here. We always deposit, we're always going to put less, and that we're adding more color later. Don't apply a solid color from the beginning because it's difficult to tone it down later. Then I'm using a blending brush, and I'm going to take that color here with this UV, which would be the outer part of our eye. So how are we going to do this transition? We're going to do those back and forth circle movements, carrying one color on top of another. We can't see the division of one color with the other. We have to see those colors mixed. That's the color transition. I'm going to put it here, and I'm making this tapping movement, back and forth movement. There we are going to make that. Let's go to blur the concave, which is that region here above this bone here of the eye. It's going to enhance our shadow only here. We can't have shadow, that very cool shadow. Then we come with this blending brush, and we're going to give that softness in that shadow. It's very subtle. We barely touch the brush. We do that here, no. We hold the brush like this in its same format because we just touch with the tip of the brush, making these circles back and forth. We are depositing it. We don't drag. We don't flatten the brush. It's just subtlety so that we're going to have that prettier effect. You're noticing that we can't see here. There is a small mark that I'm going to correct now for you, but you are not seeing a line. The shadow fades away, blending as if it were a cloud. Like a smoke where I don't know how to identify a shadow's mark line. That's blurring. We can't see that mark. See you the next video. Next time. We have to blend. You saw that we light up here, so we have to prevent this division from existing, lightening it so that it gradually fades away, degrading the color of that shadow. Now we're going to do on the other side in the same way. We put product with the brush. We go here in the inner part of the eye. A tip, always remember, always that when we speak with him with the lines, follow a line here as the end of the eye to the tip of the eyebrow. Never does the shadow cross that line. It never goes down because otherwise we would give that droopy eye look. So we always try to take the shadow from the end of the eye towards the eyebrow tip. We're not going to go far beyond that outer part of the eye. Very gentle movement, circular movement. And I'm taking this shadow up with that pink color that we already had in the eye. Remember the concave here where we are going to blur a bit more to give more naturalness to this shadow. Depositing and at the same time blending. You all saw that there is a division that we managed to see. The pink shadow gradually becomes darker. That's a fade. This is a color transition, and if by chance you see here in the middle, not a mark but a line separating the brown from the pink, you have to come here and softly blur with the brush, pass it and give it a polish here, making the shadow blend into the other so we don't get that harsh shadow effect. Listen, I'm highlighting. No line can remain on that face. Blur. blur it until all the marks disappear. And I'm going to give you a tip. When you have doubts whether it's well blended, you'll take a black and white photo. The black and white photo is going to show you division C. Correct from one shadow to the other if it's not well blurred. Uncover the division in the marking in the photo. With the contrast, they come back and blur that shadow until it's gone. Then it's logical, that part you guys will see. It's going to give a gradient in the color, but there can't be division lines in those black and white photos. He takes the black and white photo. Did they see that there was a darker color? Very fluid, very blended. Your makeup looks very nice. Now we will do the same process that we did above. We will do it below. I am going to take this finer, smaller blending brush, and I am going to take this brown shadow, and I am going to bring it here on the outer part of the eye, towards the sides, towards the inside. I'm going to deposit shadow on the part of the bottom line of the eyelashes. Remember to make this division today. There's a V here. That V is the end of the eye. At the end of our outer part, remember to make that transition here so that it connects the top part with the bottom one. That if there's one left not connecting with the other, it's going to turn out very strange. We're going to go down here from the eye. You're seeing that the waterline is quite white because it is full of base of corrector. Then I'm going to use a darker shadow to make a mark on that waterline. Let's do it on the other side too. We apply, connecting the top part with the bottom part, making that V here. They can't have large amounts of product on these parts of the eye, on the bottom part of the eye, because it's just to touch the brush on the shadow to make the movement, the vibe in which we're going to give that blurry effect to give depth to the makeup. So I did it on both sides, and now I'm going to use a darker shadow to contour lower on the waterline of the eyes, reminding you that we are going to learn how to do the eyeliner. So I'm not going to contour the upper waterline. I am only going to finish the lower waterline.